You guys hear me talking? Is it a dryer? I'm sure you heard that. There is something in the studio. It sounds like, you know when you have stuff in the dryer? I don't know if you guys can hear that. That's what it sounds like. It sounds like someone has something in the dryer and it's like clanking around. Good morning, everybody. Happy Monday. Happy Monday. I said good morning to everybody. I asked in the chat, good morning to Janet Jackson. I mean, welcome to Hot Topics. I'm Don Lemon. This is Don Lemon Show. This is just where we talk. This is our Hot Topics, Hot Talk, Hot Take, whatever show where we're talking about what's going on. I mean, we got a lot. Let me just tell you a couple of things that we're going to talk about, okay? We're going to talk about some new polling that is giving Republicans a sigh of relief, giving Democrats some pause. And so we're going to show you some of that polling and talk about some of that polling. So that's why I tell everybody, not so fast, not so fast, not so fast. You've been hearing a lot like, oh man, she's way in the lead. Look, I don't want to burst anybody's bubble. But everything is not as it appeared. Okay, so we're going to talk about that. So we're going to show some stuff and Meet the Press. There's actually some good news for her, and that's really likability. Okay, that's good, but as far as like who you're going to vote for, that's what's really important. And which states is she going to win? That is, that's a little bit frightening. Then we're going to hear some folks. We've been hearing a lot about should she speak to the media more? Should there be more meat on the bones? Right, all of that stuff. Should she be speaking to the press? Well, I think they got the message because we're hearing that she is in talks with 60 Minutes. And also, I think she's planning to release some more policy plans and proposals and also speak to the press more. And I know everyone's like, oh, she doesn't need to do it. Yeah, she needs to do it. And if you support Kamala Harris, and I do because I say she's on the side of democracy, then you should be supporting also the press and the First Amendment. The press covering the First Amendment, freedom of the press, our officials and our public servants should be speaking to the press. I'm sorry. That's just how it works. I know people get mad at me. Now, does she need to be out there doing white papers and, every single day? No, not at all. Republicans and MAGA folks who are demanding that? No. Give me a break. And so I kind of agree. I don't know if you saw Bill Maher this weekend. I kind of agree somewhat with Brett Stevens, just somewhat that she should be speaking. But Stephanie Ruhle really got it right this weekend. Stephanie Ruhle did amazing with that. So we'll talk about all of those things and about this, ratcheting or bringing down the rhetoric. And then you'll hear what Donald Trump has to say. Donald Trump is not bringing down the rhetoric, okay? And we're going to give you an example of that. We have some new video for you on the on the Diddy arrest that we're going to do. Okay, so y'all. So we have all this serious stuff, but the story that everybody was talking about over the weekend, right? Besides, did what's her name go to the game? What's her name? Taylor Swift. I don't know if people are talking about that. But is Janet Jackson. Janet, why are you being Miss Jackson if you're nasty? I mean, why are you being nasty? Janet Jackson, let me explain to you what happened. Okay. So Kamala Harris isn't black. That is according to Janet Jackson. That's what she asserted over the weekend. Really parroting this whole idea, this Donald Trump racist conspiracy theory that he first raised during the NABJ when he met with them, when he did an interview with them last month. Well, over the weekend, the internet erupted. They're outraged. Outraged. She quickly apologized. Well, kind of. Because then she walked it back. I know, it's really, really, really weird. So she said, I'm going to tell you what she first said, because this was an interview with The Guardian, okay? So there's not video of it. So, and the quote from The Guardian, the reporter said, so I wonder where she stands on the forthcoming election. After all, I say, America could be on the verge of voting in its first black female president, Kamala Harris. Well, this is a quote from Janet. You know what they say? Supposedly said, she asks me, she's not black. That's what I heard. She's Indian. She looks at me expectantly, perhaps assuming that I have Indian heritage. Well, she's both, I offer. Her father's white. That's what I was told. I mean, I haven't watched the news in a few days, Janet says, and she coughs. I was told that they discovered her father was white. The reporter says, I'm floored at this point. It's well known that Harris's father is Jamaican and a Jamaican economist, a Stanford professor, who split from her Indian mother when she was 5. My mother understood very well that she was raising 2 black daughters, Harris wrote in her book, The Truths We Hold. Now, the people who are the most vocal in questioning the facts of Harris's identity tend to be hardcore, QAnon-adjacent, Trump-loving conspiracy theories, and I don't think that Jackson falls into that camp. I don't know. But I wonder what the algorithms are serving her. And that's what the reporter says. So I start again. Harris has dual heritage, I say. And given this moment, does Jackson think America is ready for her if we agree she's black? Shit hit the fan, but then got even stranger. Claiming to be Jackson's manager, Mo El-Marcy, said the artist previously spoke based on misinformation about the Democratic presidential nominee's family and ethnicity during a recent interview with The Guardian. She deeply respects Vice President Kamala Harris and her accomplishments as a black and Indian woman. Janet apologizes for any confusion caused and acknowledges the importance of accurate representation in public discourse, El-Marcy told BuzzFeed in a statement. We appreciate the opportunity to address this and will remain committed to promoting unity. Okay, so she says this thing to The Guardian that Vice President Kamala Harris, she believes she's Indian because she says her father is white. I mean, this is all, her father's not white, her father's Jamaican, her father's black, Afro-Jamaican, African and Jamaican. So, and then she apologizes according to this El-Masri guy, all right? Saying, Janet was basically saying Janet was misinformed, she's sorry. She should do better, she should know better. However, Janet's team now says that apology was unauthorized and she walked it back. So what the hell is going on? What is going on in this situation for Janet Jackson? Like what, the reporter's right. The reporter said, I wonder what algorithm she's being fed. Like how come Janet Jackson doesn't know this? Is Janet Jackson like some QAnon conservative or I know that she comes from a conservative family, Jehovah's Witnesses. That's what I'm being told, that allegedly, right? That, the family's conservative. I think Randy, she said Randy, her brother, is her spokesperson, and that other person was not authorized. So is Janet going to be canceled for this? I mean, there's a lot of love and goodwill for Janet Jackson, especially considering, look, just because of her accomplishments, right? And she's Michael's sister, Michael's little sister. Remember Good Times, and she was Walona's adopted daughter. I mean, come on. We grew up with Janet Jackson. For those of us who are Gen X's, we grew up with Janet. It's so weird, like she's got the MAGA folks like really on her side now. I don't know. It's weird to just say, can't you just admit like, even I shouldn't said it? I don't know. It's bizarre. It kind of reminded me of this clip. Well, I mean, it kind of reminded me, this is a clip from 30 Rock that explains the situation, but this is weird. It's weird. Play this from 30 Rock and then I'll explain what I'm saying.
Tell the reporter that you hate the troops.
What? I didn't say I hate the troops.
You're readership. You're a reporter. What? Do you have anything you want to say for the beleaguered troops?
Theater troops?
Yeah, the troops.
Oh, I hate theater troops. They think what they do is so important. But it's just a bunch of gay guys that like to get in silly costumes and prance around.
So that was Jenna on 30 Rock, and the guy was saying, what do you think of the beleaguered troops, like overseas, like troops that are, in trouble, not getting the help and the support that they need? And she said she thought she was saying theater troops. So anyway, I mean, maybe Janet didn't know something, but I mean, that doesn't make sense now because Janet's saying, no, I didn't say that. I didn't say that apology shit. Janet says, I said what I said. Kathy Maher says, Janet need to shut up. The ironic thing is, never mind, says Rob Law. Okay, so Rob, I know what you're saying, because this is D.L. Hughley. This is what D.L. Hughley tweeted, okay? Rasquest says, the Jackson family never struck me as politically aware. There should be a tweet from D.L. Hughley in our packet, if you have it. But if not, here's what, I'll tell you, this is what D.L. Hughley said. I've got it. I got it right here, if you guys don't have it. D.L. Hughley said, Janet Jackson interview sounded like a Trump rally, FYI. There it is. FYI. A little ironic to question whether someone is black while you're breathing through a nose of a white woman. DL. I mean, he's not lying. Oh my gosh. That's funny. All right, let's move on, Don, says Louise. All right, Louise, you're right. Let's move on. Because that shit is funny. Come on, Janet. Janet, you should be informed. Janet, look, you can vote for who you want to vote for. If Janet just said she was a Trump supporter, all right, that's fine. Blah, blah, blah. But Janet's really misinformed on this, because a woman has always said that she was black. She went to an HBCU like 30 years. You'd have to go back and, like, you know, how do you change that? She went to an HBCU. She identified as a black woman. She wrote about it as a black. She said her mom was aware that she was raising black kids. I mean, come on, Janet. Don absolutely sucks at his job. Thank you, Walter Brooks. So do you. At least I have a job. Are you working? You're watching me. Either way, you are watching me and commenting, but I have no idea who Walter Brooks is, and I'm not paying attention to you. So if you think I suck at my job, then why are you here at my job? If you don't like my job and you think I suck, why are you in here at my job commenting? That says more about you than it does about me. Why are you obsessed with me, sir? Okay. No, you can leave Walter Brooks stuff up there. I don't care. Walter is jealous, shady, a troll, and, right, trolls get rolled. Here you are saying, I suck at my job, but you're at my job, so I must be very good at my job because you're actually paying attention to my job, which is what I'm doing right now. Right? You don't tell me I'm doing great. I already know that, Bernice. Thank you, but I appreciate it. Thank you. Y'all eat him up in those comments. So eat him up in the comment section. I love that, the folks in the comment section. So Janet, come on, Janet, get it together, okay? All right, get it together. Okay, so listen, no debate. So over the weekend, Vice President Kamala Harris accepted an invitation from the CNN on Saturday to debate the former president in October 23rd face-off, which would be right before the election. She challenged him to a showdown just before Election Day. However, at a rally on Saturday, the former president is chicken. I can't do a chicken well. He said it's too late for another debate. The voting has already started. The Harris campaign, though, has been pushing for another debate because, you know, she held her own on the September 10th debate. Here's what Donald Trump wrote. It was on his Truth Social, or whatever he calls it. Truth Social. He said, let me get the thing right here. Do I have it? Okay, on Truth Social. The president said, what he said, I would not participate in the third debate, he told Fox and Friends. Hold on. Let me get his Truth Social. I have it somewhere. Can you just put up the Truth Social? It's a tweet. I don't see it in my notes. I know I have it here. Okay, so that's what he said. He said the ratings challenge. Oh, no, that's something else. No, that's something else. Something else. Sorry. Anyway, he said it was, he didn't want to debate her. He knew that she knows that she lost because he beat her 92-8 or something like that. And so that's why he says there's no need to debate. Plus, people have already started to vote. That is an excuse. And he knows it's a lie. And he's just scared. Because if he gets up there, again, she's going to bait him. He's going to veer off track. and then he's going to lose another debate. That's what he's concerned about, okay? That's what he is concerned about. And so, anyway, so he said, I'm not going to do another debate. She said, okay, let's do it, brother. Let's do it, brother. Democrats are trying to coax Trump into the debate, though, by they're calling him a chicken for doing this. Is he a chicken? Do you think he's a chicken? Do you think there should be another debate? True, no, he can't even say it. He goes, I love you, Don Lemon, says Patricia Dunn. People don't because they can't stand to hear the truth. They can't stand to hear the truth. Tanisha says Chicken Don, and you mean Donald, not Chicken Don, like me. And my name is not Donald, so thank you very much. I appreciate that. So Democrats are trying to coax Trump into a debate, calling him a chicken. Meanwhile, let's talk about these polls, okay? So this is the stuff that I wanted to tell you about. I'm trying to get you guys caught up on all of this. So the polls that we saw before had, Donald Trump up. Vice President Kamala Harris up, right? Well, the Republicans have been saying all along that after, Joe Biden left the race, after the convention, that things would stabilize and either they'd obviously go back to normal, and then Donald Trump would it would even out and Donald Trump would start leading in the polls. There is some indication that that is happening. Okay? So let's say this is from one of the pollsters. Frank Luntz over the weekend made waves by questioning why Harris wouldn't agree to do a Fox debate. To that, I say there are consequences for promoting Trump's stolen election lies. One was an $800 million fine. The other is you lost the public's trust to host a debate. Now, I am quoting Sarah Longwell over at The Bulwark, who said essentially that. Why would she agree to do a debate? Okay? Why wouldn't she want to do another debate? But why would she do a debate on Fox News? Frank Luntz is saying, oh, well, it's rich that she'll do a CNN debate, but she won't do a Fox News debate. Why would she do a Fox News debate? I wouldn't do a Fox News debate if I were her. Especially considering, like in court papers, they said that, they're not bound to the truth there. Remember that lawsuit with Tucker Carlson and others? They don't have to tell the truth. They admitted it in court papers. And then they lost that Dominion lawsuit. And then they still have the Smartmatic one that's up. Why would you even consider that legit? She should do another debate, but she shouldn't have to do it on Fox News. And Frank Luntz, I know that you're a respected pollster who leans to the right, but come on, man. Okay, so here's the thing that has people concerned, speaking of the polls. According to the latest New York Times Siena College poll of likely voters conducted between September 17th and September 21, and today is September 23rd, so this was just a couple days ago. Trump is leading the vice president in the Sun Belt states of Georgia, Arizona, and North Carolina. Before, she had been leading, or at least making up the difference, right? She had been leading. The last Georgia poll conducted between August 9 and 14 showed that the pair tied at 47% each. Now Trump is up 49 to 45. In Arizona, meanwhile, Harris is trailing Trump 45% to 50%. That is flipped from August when 49% opted for Harris over Trump. Trump had 45%. In North Carolina, which Trump held in 2020, has similarly swung to a slight Trump lead, with the former president gaining 3 points to lead Harris 49 to 47. I've been telling you, do not get ahead of yourself. Do not get ahead of yourself. Do not get ahead of yourself. There was even one place. Can you guys give me the state? I think I sent it to you over the weekend. There was one place for absentee ballots or voters overseas where the Secretary of State, where was it? Was it Indiana? I think left Kamala Harris's name off the ballot completely. And you know what they're doing in Georgia. Polls don't vote. We do, says Marcella Cruiser. I agree. Forget the polls, says Kimmy Klaus. Yes. But then when the polls are good, you're like excited. The thing is that the polls do show a snapshot in time. So if they do, then she needs to be ahead if she's going to win. So I don't know what changed. I don't know what to believe about the polls. I have no idea. I have no idea. But it is showing that some people are like, hey, independents, undecided, and they're like, where are these undecided voters? I have no idea. Like, who's undecided at this point? Showing that Kamala Harris, the vice president, needs to, people need to know more about her. They need to know more about her policies. I know that Harris Walt supporters disagree with that. She doesn't have to do the press. I know that they disagree with that. That's the reality of where we are. The more people see Kamala Harris, the more they like her. The more people see Donald Trump, the more they dislike him. But also, you guys don't think she needs to do a press conference, excuse me. A little allergies here. You guys don't think that she needs to do a press conference where they say, okay, Jane Smith from CBS. Madam Vice President, what do you plan to do about the border? Madam Vice President says, I plan to reintroduce the bill, the bipartisan bill that was introduced and that had bipartisan support that was going to be signed and put into law until Republicans killed it at Donald Trump's behest. That's what I will do to fix the border. And by the way, the executive order that the president signed is working. And we will continue on to that policy until we need to adjust. Next question. Madam Vice President, what about high prices and inflation? Madam Vice President. Well, if you can see from the Fed's decision last week that the policies that the Biden-Harris administration put into place appear to be working. Inflation is easing. That's why the Feds cut the rate by 50 basis points. It is working. We will continue to do that, and we will adjust if need be in the future. Next question. Nothing will ever be enough, says Ms. Honey. Yes, but that's the reality we live. I agree with you. I get it. I get it. I get it. I get it. Nothing will ever be enough. They're going to pick her apart. The good thing, though, I think, is that if she's doing a 60 Minutes interview, that will, I think, hold her for quite some time. And I just think that she's giving her critics, MAGA and whatever, a reproval point. You know what reproval means? It's like a criticism. She's giving them a free reproval. She's giving them a free talking point. Right? Abe Casey says, that's it. Women's reproductive rights. When I get in, we are going to work, whatever it is that she could say, to make sure that women across this country have reproductive rights. And one way that we're going to make sure that happens is by not having Donald Trump elected so that he can't approve another Supreme Court justice that will assuredly take away women's reproductive rights. Right? There's like an answer for everything that's pretty easy. I mean, even I'm not a presidential candidate. But if I went into the cone of silence, as we call it when we used to do debate prep and all of that, if I went into the cone of silence and I did, just emergence into answering press questions about policy, this is what you say, Don, this is what, they give you research. When you're doing those things, when you're doing a debate, you know what the candidates are going to say because they've said it a million times on the campaign trail or in press conferences or in interviews, right? So it'll be like, okay, there'll be reporters from other stations, like people pretending to be reporters, right? And then they'll ask me questions that reporters ask, and then I will answer. And they'll say, on Israel, this is something that will be good, that'll hold you over. Say this. On inflation, this is something that you're going to be asked. This is what the policies are. This will hold you over. you can do 10 of those, and you get them in your head, and then you got it. You got the whole thing. All you have to do is just continue to talk on those points. And then if you can answer with a bit of information, and then you pivot. Like I said, we're going to continue to do what is working at the border, and what else will work was that bipartisan bill or whatever. And then you pivot to something else. But if my Republican, colleagues in Washington had not killed that bill, you wouldn't even be here asking me that question. And let me tell you what else we're going to do. You got to dance with them, right? Boom, 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 boom. You got to, right? It's like a dance. Easy. I mean, Pete Buttigieg does it. Gavin Newsom does it. Barack Obama does it. Bill Clinton does it. Hillary Clinton does it. Like they go and let me tell you something. All right, so I think she needs to do that. She has been doing it. No, she has not. Eric Keller, I'm sorry. She has not been doing this. She's not been doing that. But I agree with you guys enough. They're trying, what they're doing, and they admit it. If you listen to all of these strategy calls from the campaigns and just from different outlets, different focus groups and different super PACs or whatever, they want her to do more because they want to find something to hit her on. That's what they're trying, right? Yeah, Pete Buttigieg is great. Illustrious meme. If Pete Buttigieg was a candidate, you'd be like, yeah, do more, do more, do more. Why are you saying that Kamala Harris should not do more? Okay? Jessica Payard says, Don, these people are more skilled communicators, it seems, than her. I think she's a skilled communicator. But I think once she gets out there, like the debate, she got her sea legs, right? She's like, oh, I got this. Now I want another debate. So I think the same thing, once you get out there in front of the reporters and you own them, then you get more confidence. Then you're like, I got this. What else you want to know? You can even say, look, come on, give me a real question, man. Next, what do you want to know? Because when you're standing there, you have the bully pulpit. You can like brush somebody aside and call on another person. Look how Jen Psaki was a master at it in that. She was just good. Jen Psaki was really good as the White House press secretary. Really good. Okay, so in that polling, I'm just saying be careful. Now, so this is over the weekend. This is Stephanie Rule over on the Bill Maher it's not politically incorrect. What is it? What's the name of that show? Real Time. I keep calling. That's how old I am. Remember, Politically Incorrect was on ABC late nights, and then they canceled that show. Bill got canceled because of the Iraq War and something that the Dixie Chicks said and blah, blah, blah. They canceled, but Bill Maher is doing great now. So cancel culture did not affect him. It actually helped him. Okay, so this is Stephanie Rule with Bret Stephens. Bret Stephens is an opinion writer over at the New York Times. Bret Stephens is in the camp of Kamala Harris, vice president. I felt like familiar with her. The vice president needs to do more interviews. People need to know more about her. He does have a point. That is what the research shows. That's what the polling shows. That's what the focus group shows. Okay? Now, quite frankly, I don't understand how anybody could be undecided at this point. So I can feel that she needs to do more interviews and also realize that in those interviews, they're going to try to catch her and that it's not going to be enough. But you still have to give them something. I am mostly in the camp of Stephanie Rule, who completely owned it and said, who are these undecideds? And why are your rules for Kamala Harris different than they are for Donald Trump? Because no one knows what the hell he's talking about. Remember when they asked him about helping families with daycare and he gave this word salad? Like, what are you talking about? All right, here's Stephanie Rule over on the Bill Maher.
It's not too much to ask Kamala, say, are you for a Palestinian state if Hamas is going to run that state?
Okay.
Yes or no?
And let's say you don't like her answer. Are you going to vote for Donald Trump?
No, I'm not.
Kamala
I just said I'm not going to vote for her.
Harris is not running for perfect. She's running against Trump. We have two choices. And so there are some things you might not know her answer to. And in 2024, unlike 2016 for a lot of the American people, we know exactly what Trump will do, who he is, and the kind of threat he is to democracy.
I don't know.
So it's unclear to me how there could be an informed...
The problem that a lot of people have...
Stop. Pause it there just for a second. She's 100% right. That's what I always tell people. I remember I had a conversation with someone you know. I won't call him out because I think that's unfair. But anyways, someone very popular, radio person, you know, you may figure it out, who was saying, you guys are just like whatever. Because back in 2016, 2020, I was like, man, what are you doing? We have two choices in this campaign. Two. One is a threat to democracy, meaning Donald Trump. The other is Joe Biden. This was in 2020. So I said, so why are you doing this false equivalency and why are you playing both sides of the fence? Like, is it great for your ratings or whatever? I don't know. Anyway, we had a big argument about it. Stephanie, so Paul, back that up about 5 seconds though. Stephanie Rule is exactly right. We have two choices. We already know what Donald Trump is going to do. He's already said what he's going to do. And some of the stuff that he said, his concepts of a plan don't make sense. But the only reason you got that concepts of the plan is because he said it on a microphone in front of reporters. Otherwise, people would not have known. That's why I think speaking to the press is important. Okay? So roll it.
Have with Kamala is we don't know her answer to anything, okay?
But you know his answer to everything.
And that's why I would never vote for him, and people shouldn't vote for him. But people also are expected to have some idea of what the program is of the person you're supposed to vote for. You're just not supposed to say, well, you have to vote for Y because X is this, that, and the other. Let's find out a little bit more. And I don't think it's a lot to ask her to sit down for a real interview as opposed to a puff piece in which she describes like her feelings of growing up in Oakland with nice lawns.
Then I would just say to that, when you move to Nirvana, give me your real estate broker's number and I'll be your next door neighbor. We don't live there.
Pause it, please. Stephanie. Again, Stephanie's right. When you move to Nirvana, give me your real estate broker's number because I need to move there with you. That's people are not living in reality. Again, I am a member of the press. I think public servants should be in front of the press and answer questions as much as possible. Okay? If I did not feel that way, then I should be doing another job. But I also understand the times that we're in and who the opponent is and how that person lies and how the rules are different. And we shouldn't try to, try to normalize Donald Trump. It's not normal, people. And that's not being biased or whatever. It's just the truth. So all of these people who are like twisting themselves into pretzels or whatever, they're really just showing you who they are. When they're saying, we don't really know her policies. We don't really, they are making an excuse to support Donald Trump. They're making an excuse for their tax cuts. They're making an excuse for their bigotry, their racism, their homophobia, their misogyny, all of those things because they want to go back to a time that we don't live in anymore, that people don't want to live in. As you can see, there is no question about who most Americans support. Kamala Harris wins the popular vote. She wins the popular vote. Joe Biden won the popular vote. Hillary Clinton won the popular vote. Barack Obama won the popular vote. The Democrat in every case, even in Al Gore, popular vote. Democrats always win the popular vote. But because of the Electoral College, right? Because of the Electoral College, we have a minority rule where the fewest amount of people, it's simple, the minority, right? They are deciding the direction of the country. Is that fair? No, it's not fair. So that's what's happening. Let's see. To back that up, was that thing? No, I think Bill had a little bit more to say. Watch this. And Stephanie.
I mean, I feel like you're the dog we're trying to get in the car to go to the bed. You know?
The dog we're trying to get in the car to go to the bed.
We're going to put that cone on your head.
She makes a very good point right here, watch, about independent, about undecided
I gobble
voters.
up everything you write. I just don't understand how you get to this place, but okay, let's not badger.
But do you know, for the last 2 weeks, I've been going on and on. Like, I can't figure out where informed undecided voters are. I'm like, who's the person who has a list on their refrigerator of like, well, she said this, and I'm like, who is this person? And then I opened the New York Times 3 days ago, and it's you.
I love me some Stephanie. Stephanie, you're right on, right on, right on. Okay. And then, so this whole thing, guys, you know, we have to take the temperature down. Remember that, because the Democrats, the vice president, the president, the former president, and others, they are inciting violence, right? So we need to take the rhetoric down. We can't call a thing what it is, that Donald Trump is a threat to democracy. Remember January 6th. Remember trying to steal the election. Remember all of those undemocratic things that he's done, right? Do you want me to go over a list? And all of the crazy, outlandish shit that he said and violence inciting stuff that he said. Okay, so remember all of that, right? So you would imagine at this moment, because Donald Trump is saying that, one would imagine that he is being demure over on the social media and what's coming out of his mouth. Instead, this is what Donald Trump tweeted, if you can put it up, after that over the Stephanie rule. So let me see if I can find it, because I don't think I have the full screen of it here. But don't worry, give me a second, I'll find it. Not a big deal. Okay, so Donald Trump tweeted, crap, now I can't find it. But basically, there we go. He said the ratings challenged Bill Maher on his increasingly, now look, I didn't even need to see this. If someone had said, how do you think Donald Trump responded to Bill Maher and Stephanie Rule over the weekend, if I had seen that segment, I would say, well, first of all, he's going to say Bill Maher is dull and boring and that his show is ratings challenged and that no one watches him and no one likes him. And then because Stephanie Rule made a really smart point, he's going to say that Stephanie Rule is dumb, because remember, he called me the dumbest man on television. He's probably called her the dumbest woman on television, and that her network is failing, his show is failing, and you know, Kamala Harris is evil and the Democrats are mean. Okay, so that's what I would have said without looking. And remember, I can't read this, so then I haven't read. Okay, so here we go. The ratings challenged Bill Maher on his increasingly boring show on HBO is really having a hard time coping with Trump derangement syndrome. You can see, I don't even need to see it to write it. That's what he would say, exactly what he's saying. And so this is taking the rhetoric down, all right? So think about it. He is a befuddled mess, sloppy and tired, and every conversation with B and C list guests seems to start with or revert back to revert back to me, right? This week he had dumb as a rock, take the rhetoric down. He called her a bimbo, Stephanie Rule, on MSDNC. On the show, along with a Trump-hating loser, Brett Stevens, who seemed totally confused and unsure of himself, very much like Maher himself. Stevens should find himself another line of work because I am driving the failing New York Times absolutely crazy. Okay, so that's taking down the rhetoric? That's not inciting violence and hate against those people? I'm telling you, it's all bullshit. Do not fall for the bullshit. Do not fall for the okie doke. Of all the stuff that Donald Trump has said, he's been the most hate and violence inciting candidate, I believe, in history of this country. That's what and come on, that's the truth. Okay. Let's move on. I just want to, let's see, do I have any other things that I want to show you before I go on to that? All right, so this rhetoric about being a threat to democracy, I've got one more thing. I want to play, this is from Morning Joe, about Donald Trump being a threat to democracy. And as always, the folks over at Morning Joe, I think they really, really get it right. Let me tell you about Morning Joe. Morning Joe, quite honestly, and I don't get to watch much morning television, but when I do, I tune into them. It's not like they don't have a high viewership, like a couple of 100,000 people really watch. And then fewer than that in the demo. but they have an outsized influence on the conversation in Washington, and what they write or what they put on the television gets fed around to a lot of people. So they have a lot of, what do you call it? The reach, or they penetrate, right? They penetrate. Not a lot of viewers, but they do penetrate. So the people in Washington are watching, right? Our political leaders, the thought leaders are watching Morning Joe, right? The conservatives are watching. The conservatives watch Morning Joe too because they want to know what Joe Scarborough is saying. But also, like, the MAGA folks are watching, over on. It's not very insightful, not very intellectual. It's just kind of hate-filled over on Fox News. Okay, so this is what Morning Joe said about this whole idea of rhetoric.
Call it a threat to democracy when Donald Trump says that he wants to execute the chairman of the Joint Chiefs for treason?
Who said that? I said that too.
Saying that your vice president deserves lynching? Saying that to your legal counsel on January 6th? Is that not a threat to democracy? Undermining Americans' confidence in voting? When you know, because the Wall Street Journal editorial page has been very clear. And I will say, have done the right thing repeatedly, calling out Donald Trump's lies when it comes to widespread election fraud. Is that not a threat to democracy? What exactly is a threat? What rises to the threat of democracy that we have ever seen in America since the Civil War, if what Donald Trump has done over the past 4 years does not? Please, give us the permission structure. I know you're desperate for a permission structure not to vote for Kamala Harris and to get people to vote for Donald Trump. Anti-Trumpism, it is something. If they gave out gold medals for it, you'd get it. You would. But please, tell me. And this is a question Bill Maher was asking this weekend correctly. If this is not a threat to American democracy, what we have seen over the past 4 years, and if that is somehow hate speech that is riling up violent rhetoric, please tell me. Define for me, what is a threat to American democracy? It's certainly not people going around speaking out against January the 6th. It's certainly not people going out speaking out about a...
Who else has been saying that? I've been saying it. I've been saying that since it started. Fox News has been twisting what I said, saying that I said that Donald Trump should drop out of the race or he should dodge bullets. That's not what I said. I said exactly what these guys are saying. That it's all bullshit, okay? Very good. Thank you very much for that. Okay, so look, I want to play one more thing. No. Yeah, one more thing. This is Diddy. So Diddy comes, I just want to follow up because we've been following this and people are still, the memes and all over digital streaming, it's everywhere about Diddy. People are clamoring to know what's going on. So Diddy has been placed on suicide watch. He is still detained for his upcoming sex crimes trial. That's according to sources. He was put on suicide watch as a preventative measure while he is held at Brooklyn's Metropolitan Detention Center. That's according to People magazine report. He's facing racketeering, sex trafficking charges following his arrest Monday night in Manhattan. So sources told the outlet that Combs' mental state is not good. He's denied bail in an appeal hearing in Manhattan court on Wednesday. His lawyers were seeking house arrest as he awaited trial. The question is, though, I think they thought he was a flight risk because he has an airplane. He's got I think a home overseas, maybe in Bali or something. And so he had turned in his passports, but I think they were concerned that he might, try to leave, or was it abscond? That he would try to leave the country to avoid prosecution. So but there's video of his arrest from the other day. I think it was Tuesday or something, whenever he was arrested. Can we show the video of his arrest? So this is a hotel. So there's Diddy walking out of the hotel, and then see the guy in the white to the right is these two white guys in white come up to him and say, "Hey buddy, how are you? All right, let's go this way." You have the right to remain silent. You blah, 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 da-da-da. His entourage is like, oh, damn, he's gone. So then now you see his hands behind his back. Now, so that's handcuffs. His hands are behind his back. They're putting him in the elevator in the hotel. They're going to go out to the front of the hotel. There we go. And so we're taking him up to the room to now see his hands are behind his back. That's them leading him out of the hotel and into custody. And now you're going to see him outside of the hotel as they walk away. I think you're going to see him outside. So there we go. So you can tell it's a hotel because look at it's on the rug and there's Diddy. Okay, so there's arrest, there's video for everything, right? So that he's just in custody. Michael H. Cuff Daddy. All right, we didn't rub it in. Did they find baby oil, says Aurora Feedy? Okay, whatever. Okay, so you guys, early in the morning. So meanwhile, Usher's social media activity raised eyebrows over the weekend. All of his tweets featuring Combs mysteriously vanished on Saturday night. But then on Sunday, when asked by fans what happened to the hundreds of posts Usher claimed that he had been, quote, hacked. This is some context. Combs discovered Usher and helped make the My Boo singer a huge star. They even lived together in New York in the 90s, allegedly. That's what I hear, when Usher was a teenager. A recent lawsuit filed by Don Richard from Danity Kane, Usher and Neo were accused of being witnesses to Combs' physical abuse of his ex, Cassie Ventura. So that is the latest, okay? So guys, pay attention to the polls. And if you are in any of those swing states or whatever, you need to have a plan. You need to get folks out to vote. You need to do a little something. Make sure I have everything that I wanted to get in here. I did. Hey, Stephanie Rule, you did a great job. Nice work, Stephanie Rule. Nice work. Oh, one more thing that's really funny. Y'all know Trump has legal bills, right? Trump has got some legal bills. And you know, he is the money that comes in, like when he raises money they give to his campaign, the first part of that money, and maybe most of it, a big part of it, first the lawyers get it first, and then the campaign gets it. And I think the lawyers get a bigger chunk or a substantial chunk, right? And so that's paying his millions and millions of dollars of legal bills. Now, he's not raising by any stretch of the imagination as much money as Kamala Harris, as Vice President Kamala Harris, okay? So this caught my eye, and please pay close attention. Please pay close attention. This caught my eye because over the weekend, he released this. I felt like I was watching like the Home Shopping Network or like one of those weird shopping channels where they try to get you to buy coins and gold and silver. Watch this.
Everyone, I have something incredible to share today. We are announcing the launch of Trump coins, a true symbol of American greatness. Trump coins are designed by me and minted right here in the USA. This beautiful limited edition coin commemorates our movement, our fight for freedom, prosperity, and putting America first. We always put America first. It's more than just a collector's item. It's a testament to the resilience and strength of the American people.
Okay, please pause. Pause.
That we love so much.
Pause. Okay, we always put America first. No, he always puts his legal bills first. Why is he asking Americans for money? Why is someone who claims to be a billionaire putting coins out? If he's truly a billionaire, why isn't he giving those coins out at his rallies? Why? Why is he out there selling and hawking coins? Is this AI? I mean, this is a grift. This man, it's a grift. He's a grifter. His family is grifters, are grifters. It's a grift. Just take it back a couple seconds. I want everybody to hear all of it. There we go. Let's play it again.
Of the American people, our American patriots that we love so much. This coin is composed of 99.9% pure silver with a beautiful proof finish, and
1%
it's really
bullshit.
something very special. Each coin comes with a certificate of authenticity with my signature to ensure you have purchased a real Trump coin. I've seen a lot of coins out there using my very beautiful face. I'm a very beautiful guy, I'm only kidding. But they are not the official coin. RealTrumpCoins.com is the only place to get an official Trump coin. This is a limited edition product, so be sure to follow our page at RealTrumpCoins to stay updated and secure yours as soon as it's released. Together, we will make history in America, secure your piece of American greatness today. Thank you, and God bless America.
Is that what you want for your president? Let's be real. Let's can we just be honest? And I know there are some MAGA trolls in the thing. Is that who you want for your president? Someone who is hawking coins on the internet? Talking about my beautiful face on it? Come on. Come on, America. Don't we want someone with some class to be president of the United States? Is that what you want? Now, think about this. Can you imagine Barack Obama doing that? Can you imagine Republicans? Can you imagine George Bush doing it? W or HW? Can you imagine Ronald Reagan doing it? Can you imagine Bill Clinton doing that? Can you imagine Hillary and anybody? Can you imagine anybody doing that? It's embarrassing. You can vote for whoever you want to vote for, but I mean, what are you thinking when you think about that? Okay, that's it. Look, I saw my sister in the chat this morning. It's not just vote, sis. It's not just vote. You need to have a plan, especially in those states like Georgia. You need to get as many people out to vote as possible. So you're right in that respect. But you also need to encourage others to vote, as she's doing in the chat. You also need to make sure that they do. You also make sure that people are voting early. Tim and I looked it up where we are when we can start to vote, right? Because we're going to go in and vote early, just in case something happens. You never know. You may not be able to get to the polls. Something could happen. I may get called out of town. He may get called out of town. You never know. Bank it. Bank it. Bank those votes. But then you need to really inform people as well. And you need to just ask them the same thing like I asked just now, like, really, is that what you want? Do you want someone who's hawking coins? You say, hey, what's your president doing? My president is hawking coins on the internet because he wants to pay his legal bills. My president says that he's a billionaire, but yet he wants more money from me. Why does he want more money from me? He's got way more money than he can ever spend, and he could give, like, probably everyone, if he has as much money as he says he does, right? He could give everyone in this country some money and still have a lot of money. So then why is he asking me for money? Do you think about that? He cares about me so much that he's asking me for money when he's flying around on a jet that I'm paying for, right? Because you're giving him your money. He has security, which the president should, but the American people, I'm paying for that. All of the people who are not Trump supporters, they're paying for that. We're all paying for his protection. And we want him to be protected. And other things, right? Why is he selling sneakers? Hey man, go out and buy the Barack Obama sneakers. Can you imagine if Barack Obama did some sneakers? Can you imagine that whole basketball stereotype? Now, he likes to play basketball. Barack Obama, if anybody should be selling basketball sneakers, it should be Barack Obama, who loves to play basketball, who is a great basketball player, right? But he's not doing it because, you know, he's a president of the United States, or a former president of the United States. Write a book, Donald Trump. Speaking engagement, whatever it is. Hawking coins and selling sneakers and Trump flags and merch. He's acting like he's a YouTuber. Buy my merch. Classy. Thanks for watching. See you at 5 o'clock. Bye.